Hey guys, KingRazzel here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. This game came out on May the 10th, 2016, and is exclusive to the PlayStation 4. As with my other reviews, I'll be breaking this game down into the categories of story, gameplay, and value, but since this game also has a multiplayer mode, I'll be taking that mode into account as well. The story of the game begins with Nathan Drake and his brother Samuel Drake in a high-speed boat chase towards an island. The two crash, and we get a flashback to when Nathan was a boy in the St. Francis Boys' Home. Nathan meets up with Sam, who's found where their deceased mother's lost journals are, and the two go in search of them. From here, we get another flash forward in time to when Nathan is in prison searching for clues that will help him find Captain Henry Avery's lost treasure. He finds a cross in one of Avery's crew's cells and brings it back to his associates Sam and Rafe. They discuss the connection between the cross and Avery's treasure, but when Rafe kills the leader of the prison, who gets a little too familiar, the trio must flee the prison and Samuel gets shot in the crossfire. Thus, Nathan believes him to be dead and Nathan flees to the events of Uncharted 1 through 3. The plot then shifts to a retired Nathan who's gotten married and now holds down a day job working with a salvage crew. One late night, a miraculously alive Samuel comes knocking on Nathan's door, saying that he's in a real bind and needs half of the suspected $400 million payout of Avery's gold in order to pay off his debts. When Samuel asks Nathan for his help, a conflicted Nathan agrees to one last adventure. The story of the game is very, very good this time around. To be honest, I've never really cared about the stories of the Uncharted games. I've played them all, but none of them have really had a lasting impression on me for whatever reason. This time around was a whole different story, though. We get some serious analysis of Drake's character, from his beginnings even before Sully, to his feelings about his brother, and most fascinating of all for me was the relationship between Drake and Elena, who is now his wife. There was some really interesting development between the two of them, and that was what really kept me wanting to play the game. We also had two villains whom I think are the most interesting and memorable in the series, with Nadine Ross, who is a charismatic leader of a mercenaries group who calls themselves Shoreline, and Rafe Adler, who is an heir to a multi-million-dollar company who wants to be known for something other than just being the son of a successful family. This all comes together with a fantastic voice acting cast who really brings each of the characters to life and makes these storylines all the more engaging. I can't really even think of anything bad to say about the story, really, but if you're someone who's not overly into cutscenes and stuff like that, then this may be a little rough for you since there are quite a few of them. Gameplay is very similar to previous incarnations of the series, but with several notable enhancements. I'll briefly go over the gun mechanics by saying that they really haven't changed that much. Cover works the same, with Drake being able to pop around corners and over crates, but something that I did notice was the targeting of your guns is slightly bigger than it has been in previous Uncharted games. This isn't an issue, but personally I prefer the tighter crosshairs so that I could be more proficient with headshots. With this slightly bigger sight, I found it more difficult to pull off headshots, but it wasn't something that I thought impeded my playthrough. What's really been expanded upon in this game is the platforming. This time around, Nathan's brought a grappling hook.
How about you take this one?
Really?
Yeah, really. I'll follow your lead. Attaboy, Nathan.
Okay.
Whoa!
This feature is used a lot, and it, along with wall climbing, are the main means of traversal throughout the harsh landscapes that Nathan goes through this time around. Another new addition is the sliding mechanic.
Okay. You got this. You got this, Nate.
Alright, go ahead. Just don't overthink it.
Oh, crap!
Ah, shit! Come on.
This feature allows Drake to slide down steep surfaces, and it's often used in unison with the grappling hook or wall climbing to cross long gaps in the terrain. There's also an expanse in Drake's stealth capabilities. There are many more opportunities for Drake to take a stealth approach this time around, to the point that enemies now have symbols above their heads to let you know if they've noticed you or not. This style of stealth kind of reminds me of Assassin's Creed, but if you're like me, you'll be happy to hear that you can still run and gun your way through everything, and it kind of offers a play your way scenario, where you can either take a stealth approach to take out enemies more effectively, or you can go in guns a-blazing. Aside from that, the game offered a few interesting puzzles as well as some side activities such as driving a car, underwater diving, and most notably, playing a level of Naughty Dog's original mascot, Crash Bandicoot, which I thought was very cool. Overall, I had a good time with the gameplay of this game. I enjoyed the new traversal equipment that Drake had at his disposal, and the car driving was actually pretty fun. However, I personally was not a big fan of the less precise way of aiming, even though it never really hindered me, and at times the game leaned too heavily on environmental transversal and not enough on gunplay to the point where I felt like the two were unbalanced. Every Uncharted game may be similar in the balance of gunplay versus platforming, but for me, it seemed a little off this time around, maybe because crushing difficulty isn't available on your first playthrough like it is in the Drake's collection, so I didn't really have to replay firefights 50 times to get it right, but it's just something that I noticed. On top of the story, you get multiplayer with Uncharted 4, and even though I only played it for about an hour, I have to say that it was pretty fun. I played the basic team deathmatch, and it functioned like you'd expect team deathmatch to, with a few alterations. First off, you'll choose a character. Depending on which team you're on, you can either choose a villain or a hero, which is very cool because it allows you to pick from a roster including heroes and villains that you've dealt with throughout the Uncharted series. The second big deviation is the money system. You'll get cash for doing things in match, such as picking up treasure or getting kills, which will earn you money, which allows you to buy enhancements, such as magical spells known as mysticals, or an RPG, or even NPC characters. This game also features the modes of Command, which seems to be a King of the Hill variant, and Plunder, which seems to be a Capture the Flag variant. I didn't try out these game types, but they seemed like they'd have the same kind of rule set that TDM does, like with the mysticals and the RPG and the NPC characters. Multiplayer also has a lot of character customization. You can tweak a character's outfit, taunts, and even get some weapon skins. However, all these customization options cost in-game currency, which can be earned either by playing the multiplayer of the game or paying real-world cash. This does put microtransactions in the game, but if you play a lot of the multiplayer, nothing really seems to be overpriced from what I saw with the coins, so you can pretty much get anything you want with playing just a few matches. Overall, I think if you enjoyed the multiplayer of the previous Uncharted games, then you'll probably enjoy this one as well. Personally, I'm more of a fan of single-player kinds of games, but I had fun with this mode, and it's something that I wouldn't mind playing from time to time. I think this game has a lot of value, even at full price. The game took me around 12 to 13 hours to complete on my first playthrough. That's exploring at my leisure and watching all the cutscenes. However, the game can supposedly be completed in as little as 6 hours, since it's a trophy to complete the game on a speedrun in the game that time. On top of that, you also have the multiplayer as well as your secondary playthroughs of the campaign with different kind of tweaks, so you could be playing this one for quite some time. Something I also wanted to note, however, was that the costumes, once you've completed the game for the first time, they're kind of boring this time around. You can't get any, like, Donut Drake or Sir Francis Drake's skeleton, and it kind of bummed me out because I believe those ones have been in there since the first game, if I'm not mistaken, and I always enjoyed trying those out in my subsequent playthroughs going for the platinum, so it's just something that I wanted to note. Alright, so to wrap this up, I thought this was the best Uncharted game and a great way for Naughty Dog to go out with the series. The story, as I said, was excellent and offered a lot of character growth. The new environmental transversal methods were fun to use, and the multiplayer, while it's not something that I'm greatly into, was fun to play. The only real issue that I had with this game was, again, the gunplay and the platforming didn't seem to be on equal terms of use. So I think I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10. I've never really liked Uncharted as much as everyone else, if I'm honest. Yes, I've played them all and I've enjoyed them, but I don't find myself being as impressed as everyone else is. This one, however, I really enjoyed, probably because of the emphasis on Nathan and Elena's relationship, and I just found that fascinating for whatever reason. Alright guys, so that's pretty much everything that I have to say on Uncharted 4 A Thief's End. I tried to look at this game as fair and as just as I could, so this is kind of where I landed on it. Let me know in the comments below if you guys agree or disagree if you have played it. And once you guys have played it, if you decide to pick it up, then stay tuned to my channel because I am going to be doing a trivia game for it where I just kind of ask questions and then give answers and just kind of test your guys' knowledge on the game. I find those things to be fun and I thought it would be interesting. I have one of them on Resident Evil 4 if you guys want to check that out. But anyways, the next review that I plan on doing will be with Doom, which is already out by the time this video is coming out. And I haven't really gotten to play it much. I will be playing that, and the review will come out next Monday. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, then please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you all in my next video.